Alright, so we're back. We got a lighter. I was able to pause the video, which I thought would be great. I can just start it again, but no. Even with it paused, it still shut my camera app off as soon as I turned the power off on my phone, like put it to sleep and turn off the screen. So, we ended up with 2 videos, which kind of sucks because I was in the middle of really talking about something I wasn't quite finished with getting to the main point of, but who knows? It is warm out. Actually, just humid. It's better. It's a better word. Muggy. %72% humidity. It's not horrible, I guess, but it feels like it. It's like 81 degrees. But yeah, so I was talking about a lot, about in a way, I mean, this actually kind of applies to anything, not just a relationship, but whatever I desire seems to become unattainable. And I am desired by many others. It almost turns into like a competition, what I don't want to do. But it's strange. I mean, it happens with anything. Anything I get into. I mean, I can get into a certain make and model of cars that I want to start working on, and like I have, and suddenly they blow up and become hugely popular on the internet like a fad. I mean, it can be almost anything. But there's something to it, right? So there's something to what you desire and being and thinking of it as an attachment. Something that keeps you bound or attached. In a way, this is where I get stuck. So I mean, I don't have anything brilliant to say here. I don't. It's a catch-22. When it comes to certain things, like love. Like if you love something or someone or anything, if you love something, you desire it. I mean, you love it. You like it. You want it near you, around you. You want to be. I mean, you don't want to get rid of it. You love it. You desire it. So you don't want to get rid of it. You don't want to unattach from it. So it's like a catch-22. So it's very painful, actually, in this life, falling in love with anyone or anything. Because, I mean, it is an attachment, and it only leads to pain, suffering, and sorrow. There's no other, it just does. I mean, you can't have pain without love. You couldn't hurt if you have joy, or the opposite, like you can't. So, I mean, you can go through life maybe not wanting anything and not desiring nothing. I don't know if you can call that a life. I mean, just being completely, like, neutral and don't want not a thing. And if you don't want anything, what's the point in being alive? You might as well be dead. You don't want anything. You don't want anything. Like, what's the point? What are you doing? Must desire something. Or else, like, is there any point to being here? But I don't know. It's one of them subjects that seems to have no answer. I mean, there's a lot of answers. People that say they have answers. I've read so much. I mean, especially Buddhism. I have read so much about this that it just doesn't... there are some things where they just say it, you know? Like, there is no answer to that. They kind of just say it, like, this is just how it is. And that doesn't work with me. I can't... In other words, there's certain parts of it they say you just kind of got to have faith. Or just because we say it is. This sounds right. But I can't really explain it in a way that makes any sense. So... It's tough. The world is The world is tough. And that's not a secret. There's no hiding this is tough. I mean, this is beautiful out here, but this is tough. There are hundreds, thousands of predators within every yard, a square yard here, down to the microscopic to the larger. Everything is feeding off of each other. Predators and prey. Everything is kind of out for themselves, trying to trick the other into their destruction so that they may prosper. I mean, that's, if you really observe nature, that's what's happening. You can call it different ways. You say sacrifice, right? That sounds better. Someone sacrificing themselves so the other may prosper, so the larger one. Yeah, the little guys they're sacrificing themselves so the big guys may be even larger. Like they weren't large enough. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You can say it however you want, I guess. And I could just be slow. I mean, I'm not. There's nothing about me that's extra special. So, the only thing I've been doing is thinking about this shit longer than most people. That's all. I started thinking about this stuff when I was a teenager, when I was a kid. And I'm 48, so it's one of the benefits of becoming a deadhead and going on tour and becoming a hippie at 16 is getting into spirituality and Buddhism and crystals and healing and all of this stuff that, it's kind of neat when you see the world, 30 years later finally coming around to the same thing. And it's really fucking weird when it turns out to be the fucking Republican Party, like the right wing that's doing, when it was always the left, like always the left. If you were into spirituality or anti-government, anti-pharmaceuticals and mainstream medicine and banks and all of this stuff, you were a leftist, you were a liberal. So, but now somebody moved it, somebody pushed I haven't changed. I'm the same person I was. I mean, I'm not. I'm not the same. I've evolved a lot, but I'm in the same general category. Interests and stuff, focus is the same. I may have come a long way or something, but I'm not. But the focus is the same. They moved. Those goalposts moved on me. I get called right-wing by people now. Like, people will literally call me, a Republican, like that I present that way. But that's the first in my life. This is the last few years that's ever been true. I'm a hippie. I've always been called a liberal. And I'm still a hippie. So you can call me whatever the fuck you want, but those are just labels. And the general population moves those labels from side to side so much that they don't mean fucking anything at all. And they never have. And the masses are fucking ignorant. I mean, you literally just take away the M, the masses, the asses. So following the masses has never been a good idea, in my opinion. And I've known that since I was fucking 13 years old. And have strongly, and believed it, not just saying it, but like believed it. So, and trust me, at least consider the thought if you don't believe that. At least just can entertain the thought for a while, reflect on it a couple times a day when you come across ridiculous situations. And I think you might end up agreeing that the masses are ignorant and generally always doing the wrong thing. So if something is really popular, it's not 100%, but if something's really popular, there's a good chance it's not the greatest thing. But that's not always true. Nothing is black and white, okay, people? Like, nothing. Like, it can be the opposite. Something can be extremely popular because it's so good and has so much love and so much positive vibration that it is popular. It does. But most of the time, things are popular because they appeal to the average, to the masses, who are kind of ignorant, kind of sleepers, kind of like not very aware or awake. So they will often be drawn to things that are not good and not very productive for your spirituality, and might be very destructive even, especially bad for the environment and for humanity. But it's just not always, right? Like, nothing is always. You can never, I don't know. Some things, I guess, are so, like, you're gonna die. That's certainty, that's always. I can guarantee you're gonna die. I don't know when, but you're gonna die. I can say that with certainty. There's not many things I can say with certainty. And I can't even say what that means with certainty. I don't know what die means for sure. or where you go next, or what happens, if it's over or continues, or, I think it continues, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Whatever die means is going to happen to you. You're going to do it, because it happens to us all. But there's very few things like that I can say. I can say you're going to eat in the next 2 weeks, or you're going to die, because that's probably true. Like, if you don't, you probably die. I don't know how many weeks you can go without eating. Let's say a month. If you're going to eat in the next month, or you're going to die. I can say that with pretty certainty. But there's just very few things. Even that, you never know, man. You never fucking know. Magic could occur. Like, literal miracles could happen. Magic. Things could change. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the impossible. I'm looking to manifest bread out of thin air. That would be the ultimate, right? Like, if you could do that, like, it's game over. Like, world is healed. Like, everything is, all problems are gone, basically. I think. If nobody struggled, needed anything. Oh, look at that white tail. It's like Peter Cottontail. But if nobody really needed
workout paused
badly, like if they weren't hungry, they weren't going without, they wouldn't really have any reason to commit crime. I think most of it goes away. Most of the evil in the world, if we could manifest what we need. But then again, is that good? Like, think about target practice in the dark. What's the good of taking target practice in the dark?
workout resumed
What's the good of getting everything you need if you don't have to work for it? Well, you don't learn nothing, you don't get nothing. Like, it might defeat the purpose to do that, of why we're even here. So I don't know. There's a lot of those sayings, right? Like, nothing good comes easy. And that's generally true. Or you hear stuff like, if it's easy, it's not worth it. If it's worth it, it won't be easy. Like, it's usually how things work out. Something's easy. There's usually not much of a, it's cheap or common. If it's easy, then it becomes common. When it becomes common, it's not very valuable. You might lose the feeling of it even being something that used to be valuable. Like pleasure. Imagine if you got rid of all pain. If nobody had a pain, like completely just no pain. Nobody experienced mental or physical pain, was gone. Imagine after a few generations, like 400 years, 500 years, people that don't even know, like, they're not going to know how to love. They don't know pain. They're not going to know what it is to feel good. It's going to be like neutral. It's going to be like death, like nothing. So I think you need to understand that good comes from bad and bad comes from good. Energy derives from both sides. It takes both sides of the battery, right? The cell. The cell has a positive and a negative side. And without them, you don't create a current or a circuit. It's literally dead. No energy to it, no life. Dead batteries, right? That's what you call them. Batteries are dead. Battery is the beating. If somebody gets beaten, they were battered. There's salt and battery. And your heart beats, right? Your heart's beating. It's your battery. It creates your energy source. It's the generator, the hearth, the heart. It's the fire. It's your engine pumping away, beating. be, beaten, to be. 10. 10 is the pinnacle or peak. 10 comes from the word team, which means time, point, pinnacle, peak, like the best. If somebody gets a 10 on a test, I mean, that's usually our scale is 1 to 10. It's like an A plus, basically. It's 100%. It's a 10. 10 out of 10 stars. To be 10 is to be the pinnacle or peak. It's like the Christ, basically. That would be, I think, in a way. All you gotta do is list 10, right? L-I-S-T-E-N. List 10. A list of 10
2
commandments.
miles completed. Duration 43 minutes 35 seconds. Heart rate 123 beats per minute.
Or just lice 10. L-I-S means to bring charges. It literally, look it up in the law book. L-I-S, lice means to bring charges. So we're talking about a charge, a battery, right? Beaten, listen, list 10, bring charges, 10 charges, a list of 10. It's written into everything, people. Trust me, I've spent, don't trust me. Don't fucking trust me at all. Look, just look. Keep looking. I've been looking for a long time. I've been looking more than almost anyone. Like I feel confident without being cocky or narcissistic or anything to tell almost anyone that I've looked more than you. I know I have. I've looked a lot further than you. I've read a lot more words, studied them, and thought about the context. It is in everything. And if you don't see it, you just haven't looked hard enough. Because it's there. I don't need to defend it. Everybody knows that the truth is like a lion. All you gotta do is set it free. It'll defend itself. Truth needs no defense. It's self-evident. A lot of stuff isn't self-evident. I learned a discernment, how to, if somebody has to explain something to me, and after they explain it to me,
Workout paused.
often, and the majority of the time, I'll find that I
Workout
already
resumed.
knew that. I'll find like, oh yeah, like I already thought that way or had a similar thought, but maybe didn't come to the conclusion with the same set of circumstances or facts, or I didn't think it that way good enough, or wasn't able to say it that clearly, but I kind of had the same inclination. So it's like, oh yeah. And sometimes it's new to me and I learned something, but I'm able to think about it and say, oh, this is what I missed. Like I see what I missed now. Like if I had thought about that, I could have figured this out on my own without this person telling me this. And then there are some things that no matter how hard I try, I feel like there's no way I could ever come to this conclusion on my own. Like this truth it's not self-evident. I should be able to figure this out without someone like the only way I could ever believe this is if I trust this source that's telling me this, or this book, or this, sage or prophet, or this guy, this saying from this guy, or like I can't, it's not self-evident. There's no way to ever come up with that on your own. Like it just doesn't, like it just doesn't present itself. It's telling me it's not the truth. And it could be that I can't see it, right? It could be it's self-evident and I don't have the perception to see it yet. Like my horizon is still too small, too limited, where I can't see that far. So that, it could be that, it can. That's why I say nothing's ever black and white. It's hard to be for sure. I'm like, for sure, certain about anything. I think only a fool is like certain about something. It's so easy to be wrong. This world is so confusing. I mean, you're literally in the world. You're spinning. You're dizzy. You're getting spun. To spin is to confuse, to embellish something, or to create spin. Ooh, a lot of mosquitoes tonight. I'm getting out of the woods. I am. There's mosquitoes coming all after me. Of course, this is my third hike of the day. I'm pretty nasty. I need a shower, is what I'm saying, badly. I was going to take one right after work, but then I said I'm going to go hike for an hour, so might as well wait till after, or I'm going to need another shower. Which I don't like to take that many showers. It's not good for your skin, I don't think, to take that many showers. Skin makes good oils. You dry it out. But I'm going to take a shower now that I'm finally done hiking. I'll probably hike once tonight again, but it'll be late after 10 or 11 p.m. I will not sweat. It'll be cool outside. But yeah, pretty good talk. Headache is fading. Still there though. Still feeling shitty. I think I'm going to avoid social media the rest of the night and look at my stress. Maybe I'll look at it once later at 10 o'clock or something and look at my stress levels just to see what happens. But probably out for the night. But I'll catch you tomorrow, people.